When the first trailer for Stray dropped in June 2020, it excited everyone. And it's pretty obvious why. While the atmospheric city filled with robot residents had plenty of appeal by itself, we were all mostly just excited by the adorable ginger cat. The titular Stray, wearing their cute little harness and traversing the city via roofs and pipes, made so many immediately fall in love with the promise of the experience, and the month of its release, it became Steam's most wishlisted game. So, when it finally came out on July 19th, 2022, there could have been a slew of negative feedback for not living up to the dreams and expectations of the often ruthless video game hype cycle. But of course there wasn't. I went into the game hoping for something that would make me feel even a little like a cat. My biggest fear, besides harm befalling the feline, that it would just be like controlling a character in any other game, but smaller or something equally disappointing. Nothing was more important to me for the success of this experience than to actually feel the way a cat's movement always looks like it would feel. It's clear the team behind the game, Blue 12 Studio, thought so as well, because all the little perceived joys of being a cat are packed into every corner, and it feels so damn good. Within the first 5 minutes, I get to play with some cat friends, walk along a tiny railing that would worry plenty of people to see their cat do in real life, and loudly meow as much as I wanted, receiving an answering chorus from my companions. Even after separation from my fellow felines, I spent the whole game needlessly meowing just because I could. I was a chatty fluffball, and the world would know my presence. This was frequently rewarded with confused or love-struck reactions from the city's robotic residents, having no concept of what I was or why I did anything. I meowed at every one of them, wanting to see what reaction I would receive, and in over 10 hours of playtime, it never got old. The city wasn't built with a cat in mind, but of course we do what we've likely seen countless real cats do on the internet and in real life, and make our own pathways, up air conditioning units and stacked boxes, and even street signs. Jumping large horizontal gaps between buildings and using tiny ledges to climb upward feels so natural, somehow more than the movement in any other game I've played in recent memory. But of course a cat's life doesn't end there, especially not in this game. As much as I love meowing at locals, I get the most excited to see a prompt to rub against their leg. You can't do it to all of them, but whenever I noticed I could, I was excited to share the comforting presence of an animal showing such simple affection. There is no expectation for reciprocity, one robot even commenting on how their innate desire to pet me was confusing, not knowing whether it would be okay, so choosing not to try. Once or twice, I got a gentle scripted head pat, and felt like the luckiest cat in the whole world. As a cat owner myself, I am well acquainted with the more mischievous behaviors. My own fluffy boy has a love for swiping at my ankles and demanding attention at all hours, so obviously I was pleased to find an abundance of things to use my own little claws on. Couches and rugs are scattered throughout the game, and despite knowing exactly what would happen, I chose to claw every single one. If there was an actual destruction mechanic to them, this little stray and I would have completely ruined them all. So I guess I finally understand why real cats look so proud after they ruin the arm of your couch. But it doesn't end there, because you can also do that thing cats will do when they're on one side of a door and have decided they would like to be on the other. Having grown up with an indoor-outdoor cat, I am well accustomed to the scritch-scratch of little paws, alerting me that they would like to come inside now, please. I knock items off tables, sometimes by accident, but mostly on purpose. Once or twice, I get the pleasure of jumping on a keyboard, typing the kind of gibberish that can only be accomplished by an animal who doesn't care if you are trying to do something important. The first time I spot a cardboard box, I get so excited and immediately jump inside. Because of course I would, there's no question of that. Even the idle animations after staying still for a while will result in some impromptu grooming or playful pawing at something unseen. A cat is an inherently curious creature, and somehow this game manages to capture that, over and over and over again. Of course, none of this even comes close to finally experiencing a cat's most enviable skill: to fall asleep anywhere they want. I have for years marveled at the innate ability all cats seem to have to find a spot and just snooze without second thought. Stray is packed with designated napping spots, including but not limited to on a roof next to a stargazing robot, within the cramped shelves of a library, what is basically a bog, and my favorite, the chest of a formerly relaxed and now mildly confused robot. I even came up with a theoretical speedrunning category called All Naps Percent. Each moment of rest has an added layer of calm, as the camera pulls back slowly to capture the serenity the cat feels, even in these non-traditional places. I took a pause in every spot I came across, soothed by the gentle background and little swirl of the stray's body breathing softly and peacefully. Within the first few minutes of playing Stray, I knew I would love it. But it's all these little touches that cemented it. I could happily play a game that was just the carefree exploration of the first 5 minutes. Not because what came after wasn't good, but because the foundation was so perfect. Being the Stray was a treat in any environment, with or without the traditional game design factors of conflict or narrative. A cat just feels designed to take advantage of the nooks and crannies that are the side effects of human-designed spaces. This could have been just an average game that happened to have a cute cat for a main character, but instead it's so much more. And I'm evidently not alone in feeling that. Reception has been overwhelmingly positive, with helpful Steam reviews saying things like cat and meow, as well as some genuinely heartfelt responses to the experience. Within a day of release, there was a Twitter account dedicated to pictures and videos of real cats watching and trying to interact with the game. Modders have already started creating custom skins so they can play as their own beloved felines. Hell, less than 2 hours in, I was already writing this script in my head. So yes, I will continue to enjoy Stray even after I've seen and done all it has to offer. And I can only hope to be presented with more joyous opportunities to be a cat again. This video does have a companion piece. What I wanted to capture here was the pure joy I felt being the Stray, but it doesn't encompass my full thoughts on the game. Covering that necessitated full spoilers and a much heavier tone. If you've already played the game or have no plans to ever play it yourself, please check it out, as I'm really proud of it. But recognizing that it might be as emotionally difficult for you to watch as it was for me to make.